Bath Soak, you need Epsom salts, kosher salt, baking soda, citric acid, which is also called sour salt, pink soap colorant, and peppermint essential oil. We're ready to mix up our bath soak, and we've got our recipe written out right here. We're going to start with 3 tablespoons of Epsom salts. And Epsom salts you can just get at the drugstore. And it comes in this giant container, but you end up using it, you can use it for all kinds of bath soaks, which is nice. 3 tablespoons of that. 2, 3. And then we need 3 tablespoons of our kosher salt, or you can also use coarse sea salt. And you can get this at your grocery store also. We see it at drugstores too, but it's usually cheaper at the grocery store. That's 1, 2, come on, getting a little clumpy there, 3, okay. And then we need 3 tablespoons of our baking soda. And baking soda is kind of the magic ingredient when mixed with our sour salt. So you definitely want to make sure you have baking soda, not baking powder. That's our 3 tablespoons. And then we need 2 teaspoons of our citric acid or sour salt. So this is, that's a little clumpy here. It's 1, 2. Great. And now we're going to give that a little stir with our spoon here. Boy, the Epsom salts and that coarse sea salt are really pretty and sparkly. There we go. Now we want to add our essential oil. And the essential oil is going to make it clump a little bit, but we're only going to put about 4 or 5 drops of our peppermint essential oil in there. So we'll give it a stir and then I'll mix it all up. And it won't be clumpy. That's 4. Let's do 5. Peppermint is an especially strong scent, so you don't want to go too crazy with it. You can always add more, but you can't take it away, so it's best to start with just a little bit and then add more if you think the scent isn't strong enough. There we go. I'm kind of mashing it with the bottom of my spoon to make sure it's blended well. And now we're ready to add our color. Now we're using pink soap colorant, and we got this in the craft store, just in our soap making section. And we're going to do just a few drops to start. I think I'll do 4 to start. And you can see it's fizzing a little bit. Don't worry about that. I'm going to start stirring it with my spoon, but then I'm going to use my hands. We're going to get it mixed in just a little bit with the spoon. You can see it's clumpy, so you're going to want to use your hands, but I'm going to add a little more color first. That was 4, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. And don't worry about the fizzing. There's enough of that sour salt and baking soda in the mixture that it will still fizz once this is blended up. And what I'm doing is sort of mushing it with my hands to get it nice and blended. And you can see it's already turning a nice shade of pink. But we might want to add a little more color. I'm going to get it good and blended first here. It feels amazing and smells so good. Okay, let's do just a couple more drops here. Just want it nice and saturated color so that it looks nice and pink against the white when we do our little stripes. Now that we've mixed up our pink, what we're going to do is spread it out on a cookie sheet to dry it out. And the reason why we're doing this is when you add the pink soap colorant, it can cause the mixture to fizz a little bit and clump. So we're going to dry it out in a 200-degree oven. We let our pink soak dry in the oven at 200 degrees, and it took about 10 minutes, and we can feel that it's kind of all one unit now. It's kind of dried itself together, which means it's nice and dried out. And what we can do now is scrape it up to kind of chop it up. So we're just using a spatula, and I'm going to kind of crush it like this and just scrape all of this to loosen it up. And it's important to do this so that it doesn't end up clumping in your jar. Good, that's nice and crunched up. Now we're going to put this in our bowl so that we can get ready to do our striping. And you can crunch it up like that too with your fingers if it's still a little bit clumped. It's definitely dry though, which is great. And it smells so good. We've got another batch already mixed up that's exactly the same as this one, except that it doesn't have our pink colorant in it. And that's because we're going to stripe it. So now we're ready to do our striping. We've got our jar here that we just bought at the grocery store. It's a jam jar. We often will go up and down the grocery aisles looking for beautiful jars. And what we did was just remove the label with soap and water, and we're ready to do our layering. We're going to start with pink at the bottom, and we're going to use 3 tablespoons of the pink. And I'm just going to use the bottom of my spoon to sort of level it out. Here we go. It's a little less than 3, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be exact. And I'm not going to press down too much because I want to leave it sort of flaky looking. But I'm just sort of spreading it around, making sure that we've got it kind of all the way around. And now we're ready to do our white. So we're going to just do the same thing so that the stripes are the same width. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of the white. I've got the last 3 tablespoons of our pink. I'll just top it off, smooth it out a little bit with my spoon. And there you go. We're ready to label our jar, and what we did was we designed this cute little pink peppermint bubbling bath soak label, and you can download it from our website runningwithsisters.com and print it out. And what we're going to do is laminate it, and we're going to laminate it with packing tape. So we'll take a piece of packing tape and just kind of pick it up, try to get it covered completely by the tape, and then we'll flip that over and get another piece of packing tape and put that right on top of our first piece, like that. And that's just going to keep any moisture out since this is going to be by the tub. And I'm just burnishing that a little bit with my finger. And then you'll just want to cut that out. And we went ahead and cut one out already. And we're just going to double stick tape that to the top of our jar. So we're going to use 2 little pieces of tape like this. And just put one sort of at one side and one sort of toward the other. And then we'll put that kind of centered right there on top of our cute gold lid. We were lucky that this lid was already gold. If your lid is printed, you can always spray paint it. Now we want to add a ribbon. We're going to tie a bow. We've got about 1 yard of ribbon here. And what we're going to do is we want to find the center of our ribbon. Here's the center. We're going to fold that in half, and we're going to put that at the back of the jar, just under where the jar lid comes down. Bring it around to the front, and then we're just going to tie a simple bow. And to do that, we want to make sure it's tied underneath that jar lid. We like to do the 2 bunny ear method of tying a bow because that keeps the bow from rotating. So we've got our 2 bunny ears. We're going to cross one over the other, and you just sort of flip that tail down like that and pull the bunny ears straight. Now the ears are going to be too big, so to shorten them, I like to just put my finger over the knot and tug a little bit to shorten the sides of the bow, and that way you can make them the same size, so you never have to get them right the first time. And then I'll just tighten that again. And we'll trim our ends in a minute. But first we want to straighten it out a little bit. We want to add a little gem in the middle because we think that that's darling. So we've got a button here that we got at the sewing store, the craft store, that's got a little pearl on it and rhinestones. And we're just going to add some hot glue to the back of that, just like that. And then we're going to put that right in the center, just like that. And just hold it there for a second till that glue sets up. It sets up pretty quickly. There we go. And now we just want to trim our ends. And to trim the ends, we're going to do little points at the end. We think that's cute. So what I'm going to do is fold the ribbon in half again, just like that. And I'm going to start cutting sort of down toward the edge of the ribbon at an angle. And what that'll do is make a cute little point. It's kind of like it won a prize. It's like your cute little package won a prize. Do the same thing here. Then I'm going to cut down at an angle to create a little point. And now we're just going to straighten our bow, make sure that our button is on there nice. I'm going to pull this little tail down so that the tails aren't in front of our bunny ears. And there we go. So cute. Now we just want to show you what happens when you add this pink peppermint bubbling bath salts to water. It fizzes like crazy. How fun is that?